Welcome, welcome, one and all, to Cryptic Corner, the place where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee, and today you can see I am in my mermaid regalia. I am all mermaided out for today's episode. I did try to do the mermaid scaling pattern thing. I found like a tutorial on doing it. I even used the... Where'd it go? I don't know what I did with it. I had a scale pad. You put what you do is you take the fishnet and you put it over your face, and then you paint you paint over it with your makeup brushes, right? With your brush. But I don't know if I just need if I just needed a softer material, because I was like, oh, I'll just do it with eyeshadow. That should be fine. So I just used blue eyeshadow, and it didn't really work. So I ended up having to wash it off and redo my makeup over again. So you almost had me fish scaled all over my face, which would have been fun, would have been worth exploring. But hold on just a second here. Oh. Would have been a good time, but alas, I did not. I think I just lost a lash. Yeah, this costume's just falling apart. No, did I lose a lash? No, I still got my lashes. I don't know what I'm seeing falling in front of my face. I did not lose a lash. Can you see my flippers? Later in the show, you can see my flippers. Yes, if you stick around. And make it all the way through, because we're doing something fun for Breeze Bestiary. You know, I decided, that we were talking about this last night. This totally changed what I was doing for the Breeze Bestiary. So stick around, and you'll see the 12 days of Christmas. Yeah. So, but today we're doing mermaids for Cryptic Corner, and it's gonna pull up the wrong screen there. There's my Facebook advertising the show that we're watching now. Isn't that amazing? But I need you to get on the right page, because this is where I went and pulled the wrong one earlier. But it's all right. All right, so the first video we're watching is from the Missing Files. All right, the Missing Files is, yeah, exactly what it sounds like. A channel mostly about like if you look right now, it's about like missing people and like extreme videos and stuff, right? But early on, they used to do this kind of stuff with freaking mermaids. Who knew? Now, most of these mermaids we're going to recognize pretty early on if you're familiar with mermaid cryptid stuff. But if not, you're about to find out. So let's see what the Missing Files has to say about mermaids.
If you had to guess what a mermaid looks like, would you go with the Disney version or the monster movie Lagoon kind? One's a bit of a fantasy, while the other feels like a nightmare. From fisherman finds to mermaid skeletons, here are 20 times mermaids have been spotted in real life.
There will be
Space
no
mermaid.
times.
Not all mermaids are cute redheads living colorful lives under the sea. A recent video has surfaced featuring a dark and pale creature with an alien-like form that's making some people rethink what's going on beneath the waves. This intense-looking being has enough human-like facial features to hit the uncanny valley level, where it seems like a person that's a bit off. But what sets it apart are the presence of gills coming out of its neck. The creature has a unique combination of attributes, with its skin branded by a smooth, silky texture combined with fish-like scales, giving it a total swamp creature vibe. Could it be related to that one monster from the Black Lagoon? Maybe this is where that story first came from, like a long-lost descendant rediscovered after all this time.
It's funny because a mermaid, like, sea mammals don't generally tend to have long flowing hair, right? Like, no sea mammal has that. So a mermaid, you wouldn't expect them to have long hair. But I want to show, now I'm not saying this is the exact same costume, but there's there's a lot of cosplay like this where people put on these fish people costumes, right? With weird contacts and have webbed hands. This is just creature fins is what this one's called. You can see that there's more than one of them too. So again, I'm not saying this is specifically the one that they pulled this video from, but it's the same kind of deal, right? Same kind of costumes. Same kind of aesthetic. So to claim that this is, and actually I think those ones are a little bit better than this one. This one looks more like it's
But interestingly, despite its humanoid facial features, the species does possess notably webbed hands, defying conventional expectations. If you want to know where it came from, the origin of this alien-like...
The one we just looked at had webbed hands. Dr. Tapioca Weasel. Yeah, real mer people would be like terrifying to look. Maybe they have like lionfish manes that make it that look like hair. Yeah, we'll go with that. Or a bristly like male fur seal mane. That's about the closest thing I can think of to like long hair. So like a fur seal, and the males have like bristle manes. Like they're not like soft flowing hair though. They're really stiff, bristly. Dr. Tapioca Weasel could not resist the mermaids. Yeah. He wants to be part of our world. Under the sea. I gotta do more puns.
Creature unfortunately remains shrouded in mystery, leaving observers to contemplate whether it emerged from the depths of the ocean or perhaps arrived from extraterrestrial realms beyond our stars. An Eastern sighting. Moving on from a terror of the deep, let's come up for some air over in Israel, where a spotted mermaid is making a splash. So, here's this footage circulating, and it's claiming to have uncovered some pretty convincing evidence that mermaids might be realer than the average person expects.
Look at that.
It's the kind of stuff that has the internet spouting theories and scratching their heads in wonder. The home-styled video was shot...
Oh, hold on. We don't have to just watch their interpretation of it, though. I think we have... Oh, not that one. Here we go. This one. Yeah. This is actually footage, so...
Yeah, man, this is cool.
So these guys are in Israel, filming, allegedly.
A seal on the rock down there?
That thing!
Yeah.
That's a weird looking seal, man. Are you filming this?
Yeah. How do you, where's the zoom on this?
Yeah, it's that button.
Oh, there, I got it.
That's no seal.
What is that?
Oh my god!
What is that?
It was the effects was it was decent until she dove into the water, and then the way that she faded away was not like this water's dark enough that she would have just basically turned into a blur and then disappeared pretty quick. She wouldn't have just like faded out like that. But this was this was made for that documentary, Mermaids, the Body Found. And I mean, just get used to that because it's going to pop up again and again in this. What we got talk going on? I want a mermaid tail. They make really excellent merpeople tails you can actually swim in. Yeah, I know. I want one. I'm not going to lie. We watched videos about it. Or we watched like a dating show where they took mermaid classes the other day. It was Dating Unfiltered. You were watching that in the living room the other day. And they took mermaid classes. But I actually looked at the prices of the mermaid tails on like Amazon and stuff to see what kind of range you're looking at. And it depends. So there's a lot of variety there. So if you want a mermaid tail, you can get one. But yeah, as for this is fictional. This is fiction. Comes from... Let's watch it again real quick, though.
Where's the zoom on this?
Yeah, it's that button.
Oh, there.
It's
I
right
got
here.
it. I got it.
I don't. It's a seal, man.
What is that?
Oh my God!
What is that?
Did you get that? Tell me you got that. Did you see that? What?
So, I do want to say that mermaids are definitely based on seal sightings. The mermaid on the rock sightings are they got to be seal sightings. I mean, seal or sea lion. Yeah.
By two tourists doing their touristy thing, filming what initially appeared to be your typical seal hanging out on some rocks. Nothing too crazy there. But that's where the plot thickens. As they zoom in for a closer look, one of them can tell that something isn't quite right. For starters, is that seal?
You want to be the first non-white mermaid? That's an ambitious goal. Yeah. Non-white mermaid at Wiki Watchy. That's where you go watch the mermaid shows. Are you good at holding your breath? I would love it if you went and if you like, you know what? I'm going to go be a mermaid, and you just did. I didn't even know that was an option.
The real deal or something else. They then think that maybe it's a woman sunbathing, but that's
I
not.
like this because you can see that the tail's not like the particular whale shaped. It looks more like it's like a ray shaped, like a stingray shaped.
Not exactly an ideal spot to work on your tan. The only other idea that comes to mind is that it's something that lives down below and came up for a bit of fresh air. Mermaids are still.
All right, so you notice that this person, even though that's known to be that video is from Mermaids, the Body Found, or whatever the silly documentary was, they didn't actually mention it.
So mysterious that it's not really known which sides of the ocean they hang around. Maybe this one was taking a touristy grip too and decided to spend some time on foreign beaches.
I mean, that'd be the Mediterranean, right? If it's in Israel, what would the sea be? Let's look at the map. Israel. And then we're going to go to map. Yeah, the sea that you're going to be looking at is the Mediterranean Sea. Let me show you. Okay, so if they're in Israel, Israel's right here. This will be the coast that they're on. Whoosh, this nice, long, smooth coast too. It's a really good coastline right here. You can see why people want to fight over this area. There's Gaza and West Bank and all that. But anyhow, if they were on this coast, this is the Mediterranean Sea. So that's what they're going to be. A Mediterranean mermaid. Now, I don't know if we can get down here and have a look at this coastline. It's probably pretty... Ooh. It does look about like they showed. So, yeah, high cliffs and then rocks down below. Lots of resorts and stuff. Sure. Okay. Let's see. No, they use these tubes they hold while they perform. They breathe out of them, but they have to be able to stay underwater with eyes open, no nose holding. You know, I can stay underwater for a pretty good amount of time. I love snorkeling. When I go snorkeling, I never come up. Let's see. Yeah, this one's not too convincing.
Beaches. But if we're going to be serious about getting a shot of a mermaid up close, it'll probably be better to take a gander from their level. So let's dive down into the ocean next. A Superior submarine screening. Just around a decade ago in 2013, a short video popped up that showed what looked like a fishy human swimming in depths well below where humans should be. While scientists were trying to figure out if it was a new species of aquatic mammals or a real-life mermaid, it did trigger some stories about a similar encounter in the same depths of the Lake Superior from 1782. The whole thing left travelers bewildered, and while locals explained it as the Merman of Lake Superior, Venant Saint-Germain, an adventurer, and his companions were camping on Pie Island, sitting between Canada and Isle Royale. As twilight fell on their small adventure, something mysterious crept up from the lake, about 75 yards offshore. Saint Germain described this strange being as having a humanoid upper body that looked like a child of 7 or 8, complete with stunningly bright eyes, fully formed fingers, and a dark complexion. In fact, he was so scared of this mystery-looking child that he pulled out his gun to shoot just in case. But an old local woman intervened.
You're gonna shoot a kid swimming in a lake? What the hell, dude? Even if they are wearing a mermaid tail, you don't just shoot somebody for swimming. That's wild. Right, isn't that weird? It's from 1782, and he's like, yeah, in 1782, a submarine had a similar experience. What the fuck in Lake Superior? Because listen, let's go back. Listen to what he says.
From the lake, about 75 yards offshore, bewildered, and while locals explained it as the merman of Lake Superior, venant Saint Germain, of aquatic mammals, or a real-life mermaid, it did trigger some stories about a similar encounter in the same depths of the Lake Superior from 1782. The whole thing. So
they're talking about being in a submarine in 1782. I'm befuddled. What kind of submarine did they have in 1782 in Lake Superior? Why was there a submarine in Lake Superior in 1782? And I mean, the mermaid, yeah, that's an interesting part of the story, but the whole story, yeah, there's got to be more to it than that. Come on now.
Left travelers bewildered, and while locals explained it as the merman of Lake Superior, venant Saint Germain, an adventurer, and his companions were camping on Pie Island, sitting between Canada and Isle Royale. As twilight fell on their small adventure, something mysterious crept up from the lake, about 75 yards offshore. Saint Germain, the old local woman, intervened, warning him that harming a merman would unleash terrible storms, as these aquatic entities were considered gods and goddesses of the lakes. True to her words, furious storms raged for 3 days, stranding the campers. Saint Germain's account became notorious for being so far-fetched, and in 1812, he was...
Yeah, so far-fetched because you claimed that it was at similar depths to the submarine footage. Yo. Was it a yellow submarine? Maybe.
forced to provide sworn testimony in a Canadian court. He said the woman described them as childlike, sometimes hairy, with a fondness for hiding between water's rocks. Maybe we need another submarine explorer to test if his story checks out. A fisherman from Kenya.
Hold on, we gotta address this, and I gotta brighten my thing up because it's too dim for me. There we go. That's better. There's too much sun coming from this side, so I look like I'm half in the dark, and I didn't like it. All right, so this footage that we just went over here, with the window, hand on the window and the submarine and stuff, also from Mermaids, The Body Found, the 2013 mockumentary. So, yay. Oh, I love the record of Edmund Fitzgerald. I used to be able to play it. I don't remember the tune to it. I would do the harmonica instead of singing because I cannot sing like Gordon Lightfoot for the life of me. I just don't have it in me. And he has such a distinct voice, so I would just play it on harmonica. Not in the key of A, though, which is what this key is. The record of Edmund Fitzgerald is a beautiful ballad. It's probably, like, it's one of the most moving songs I can think of. Like, as far as having you feel like the dread of the crew. Oh gosh, gonna be talking with Edmund Fitzgerald. Oh yeah, rest in peace, Gordon Lightfoot. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Sailors of the high seas have reported mermaid sightings, but without scientific proof, these fishy tales have all been declared as hearsay.
See the tail here? That's how you know that Israel mermaid was from the same mockumentary, because it has the same tail shape. Not the traditional tail shape of mermaids that you see in folklore, but which is the fluked. It's a fish tail, but it's fluked like a whale's. That's the traditional mermaid tail in folklore, right? At least in modern folklore. And they tried to make it somewhat unique for their mockumentary, so they made it this like stingray shaped or scallop shaped instead. Which is there is a sea mammal with a tail that's similar to the shape, which is the manatee. The dugong already has the fluked tail, but the manatee still has a flat paddle tail like this. And there is the correlation between mermaids and manatees that we're all familiar with. A legend lives on from the Chippewa down the big lake they call Getchagumi.
Folklore and drunken tall tales. While marine biologists and oceanographers have yet to confirm the existence of merpeople, this bizarre viral clip.
Yes, can I come be a mermaid with you? And we can just live in a sunken ship, Tsunami, and come up for air and stuff, and stay down there until at least 2028, maybe 2032, just to be safe. We'll stay down there and hang out with the fishies. What I'll do is spend my time cataloging the life of the reef.
Clip has the internet captivated and hopeful. In the viral YouTube video, a seemingly still living mermaid appears to have washed up on the shores of South Africa in April. Just at a glance, viewers can see a half-human, half-fish-like creature lying on the sandy beach while onlookers gather to examine the sea oddity. So, all
right, here we go. Now, there's a few things you'll notice about this one. That the place where the human part connects with the fish part does not actually seem to be connected. This is like this guy would have been like if this is a real mermaid, it's like a Frankenstein mermaid that somebody sewed together. You know, like when they put like a dog head on a monkey body or something like that. But yeah, this would be like taxidermied together, but this is like an actor, obviously, with their legs inside of a prosthesis with probably some, I want to say it probably has some pulleys inside of it set up to make it flap the fins when she wiggles her toes. Or he wiggles her toes. This one doesn't have any mammary glands though. So this is not a mammal, apparently. It's convergent, even though it has the same amount of fingers as a human. It has the 5 fingers. So that's the thing about this too, is where would this fit phylogenetically, right? Because it has 4 pectoral limbs, right? These are pectoral limbs right here. And these are pectoral limbs. And you can tell they're pectoral limbs by their relation to, they call caudal fins. So, like, what's the deal with that, I guess, is all I have to say.
Is this thing for real or just an elaborate hoax? It's definitely no dummy, seeing as the apparent mermaid appears to be alive with its arms and fins still moving. However, nobody on the beach attempts to move the fantastical creature back into the water. Do merfolk have legal rights?
See, oh, hold on. This angle gives you another good example of how it has too many limbs to be a tetrapod with 5 fingers, right? Because there's the pectoral, caudal, anal fins, and here's its tail. So it has too many limbs to be anything on this on the mammalian spectrum
to move the fantastical creature,
or a tetrapod at all. It's some kind of hexapodal creature if it's real, which means it would be convergent with tetrapods. Be convergent with all the vertebrates that we know. It wouldn't be related to any of them because its limb development would be divergent.
They're back into the water. Do merfolk have legal rights? Because these people would be in trouble if it turns out to be a regular dude in need of medical assistance. But unfortunately, the whole thing was never publicly resolved. Viewers of the alleged mermaid video were disappointed to see the clip end with no resolution and no real sources to reach out to. So, is it the real deal or a fishy fake? There's evidence on both sides of
It's definitely a fake. I mean, because what would this thing be? What would it be? What would it be phylogenetically? If this was a real creature, what would it be? It would maybe, because they say our ancestors, like you talk about Tiktaalik, and then you talk about going back to lobe fin fishes like the coelacanth. The coelacanth does have a lot of fins, but it doesn't have the digits, right? And then when our ancestors, when lobe-finned fishes first came onto land, they had more digits. I believe they had 7, and we've reduced to 5 to move on land. But early vertebrates that crawled onto land, our ancestors of all land tetrapods, started off with by the time they got onto land, they had 7 digits and didn't reduce to 5 until after they'd been on land for a while. So a mermaid who would have diverged unless the mermaids left the sea and went back like a seal, or like a pinniped, or a cetacean even, because cetaceans did come on land and then go back to the water. But if they did that, then they would have reduced limbs. They wouldn't have all these extra limbs. So this thing would have diverged before they came onto land, which means you would expect more digits than 5, right? That you'd expect more than 5 fingers on a mermaid that had diverged before the limb reduction that separates coelacanth from all other tetrapods, or from other lobe-finned fishes. Anyway.
The argument, so we'll just leave it up to you to decide. Mer creature. Here's a mermaid you won't be seeing in any kids' movies. In fact, viewers beware, because this one isn't for the faint of heart. Several viral videos from India have come out claiming to show off a mermaid, locally known as Jalpari. Most of their descriptions say that this creature was found on the banks of the...
She's pretty inconsistent looking, Jalpari is. Maybe Jalpari must be a shapeshifter to take all those different forms.
Ganga River and Patna, while others insisted it was spotted in the coastal state of Odisha. A Facebook post shared images of the supposed mermaid, stating it weighed over 100 kilograms, with hands and fingers resembling those of a man. The rest of the body, not so...
I love this one. This is definitely an art piece. It's not Juan Cabana. I couldn't find out I couldn't find the name of the artist. But I mean, you can see that's consistently, it's made of the same material from everything you can see on here. The crate's made of something different. The crate, it's not even a real crate though. It's not even real wood. It's like, I think it's textured foam board. And then this thing, and I don't think it's as big as, like, I think it's probably about this big, just from the looks of it. There's some physics stuff that tells me that, but also the width of this wire, for instance, and the drill holes, things like that. But and the nail heads. But this thing reminds me of the pug woman. Those titties, though. Yeah, I know, right? I had to blur them out on my thumbnail. I hope that thumbnail was baity enough to get people in here. Because a thumbnail with fish people tits on it is usually, H2O skinwalker, sea walker. Would it be sea walker, skin surfer, skin swimmer, skin swimmer? That sounds sexy though. Skin swimmer, ichthyologist or a gynecologist. Suckle with the fishes. God, you guys. Mermaid puns. I love it. Bring it on. Let's hear all the great fish and mermaid puns you can think of. Pour some Buckley and rum down its gullet and bring it some seawater. Now, yeah, you can. The main thing about this one is you can see this made from the same material. Now, it does have a cool function where it breathes, but that's because it's got this wire going to it to make it breathe, which we'll see in a second. But
so much. Another user claimed the creature was found near the home in East Medinipur, West Bengal. So, where did this thing actually come from? While most pictures of mermaids depict a fish-like tail and a human upper half, there are versions that...
Yeah, that's why it's reminding me of those... was it a pig? I think it's a pig person. It might be a pug person. Hold on. It might be a dog person. Yeah, this one. It's another art piece. Very similar. Let me see. Open in tab. And this showed up on like a lot of cryptozoology forums and stuff. back in the day, saying, oh, it's a human pig hybrid with her litter. But it's in a museum. It's an art piece. Right? I don't think it's the same artist, but same vibes. Like making a grotesquerie of human-animal hybrid.
Have done the reverse with a fish head and a human
The
bottom.
triple-breasted horror of the Indian Ocean. Mitch McConnell, the mermaid. Ah. Motorboating. You want to motorboat those? They'd be flopping all over the place. Could you imagine trying to swim with those? Like, come on now.
It's gotten harder to say what's fact and what's fiction on the internet these days, but if you're willing to believe in the unknown, others will surely back it up with claims of their own. Or you could just go check out the movies. Movie star mermaid. It seems like mermaids have a pretty clear side of the world they like to spend their time on, especially since this next one made an appearance over in Sri Lanka. There's a viral video making the rounds on social media, claiming to show a mermaid sighting on Mangalore Beach. But let's plunge into the real story behind it. The video features a woman with fish scales covering her lower half, and its high quality has gotten the spectators up in arms. The allure of
it's high quality enough to know that this is a film. It's not someone's camera footage from their phone or anything like that.
Those mystical creatures of the sea have always captured our imagination. So the idea of spotting one up close like this is like a dream come true for most fantasy hunters. But if you fell for this clip before today, we've got a bit of tragic news, especially if you're a true believer of fantastically deep swimmers. It turns out that this video isn't a real mermaid sighting. It's actually a...
No shit. Really? None of these videos that you've shown so far are real mermaids. What are you talking about?
Snippet from a film about ocean conservation, produced by a Sri Lanka-based YouTube channel back in June 2021. The woman in the video, though convincingly transformed into a mermaid, is an actress playing a role.
No, not convincingly. Again, because of evolution, we know mermaids wouldn't look like this. They wouldn't even have 5 fingers unless they were sea mammals. If they were sea mammals, they definitely wouldn't have lower fins or lower scales.
That explains why the camera footage was so high quality. The video might have sparked excitement and curiosity, but it's not evidence of a real mermaid gracing Mangalore Beach. Instead, it's a creative effort aimed at...
My kids used to watch H2O all the time. I love H2O. Oh, I missed the theme song to it. But yeah, it was like when my kids were little, H2O was the shiznit. It's about like 3 girls that get mermaid powers. Good stuff for a kids show. And it's not produced by the awful companies that make kids shows like Disney and who else did bad kids shows in mostly I think at Disney. But yeah, I did watch some of the Disney shows too that were probably the kids were probably abused during. Now that I look back on it, I used to watch Victorious. That's where Ariana Grande was from, and she was Kat on that show, and she was like a derp, but she's adorable.
Raising awareness about the importance of preserving our oceans. Hopefully, their message came across. Mermaid in Hyderabad. Indonesia is a great place to see a lot of interesting things, and apparently mermaids might fall onto that list. A mysterious video claimed that mermaids were discovered on the banks of the Musi River after a bout of heavy rain soaked the city in a recent storm.
They are very CGI-like.
If you're not familiar, this river is like the cooler version of the Krishna River. It flows through the Deccan Plateau in India, creating a natural barrier between the ancient part of Hyderabad and the modern areas. It's not
yes, it's a very pretty river. What does it have to do with the mermaids?
Exactly a hotspot for attention, although that definitely must have changed once these shots came out to the public. But if that thing is really a mer creature, then it seems like the swamp thing is more realistic than the old cry of the sirens. Who would have guessed that mermen are fully scaled and as casual as koi fish? Well, probably a marine biologist, but they might also be the first to say that it's totally a hoax. We wouldn't want to spoil the fun though, so we'll leave it up to your imagination as to whether this is what a true mermaid might look like, or just another viral video aiming for clout. A high seas mermaid adventure. It's hard is more realistic than the old cry.
I just don't think that now, as far as the features and stuff, I do appreciate that they made it look less like less like a human, which is important for a mermaid. For someone to convince me that something's a real mermaid, it would need to look less human and more marine. Like it wouldn't look like a person. Nickelodeon, thank you, Spooky. That's the other one, yeah, that treated their kids bad. They're child actors. But this the CGI here
of the sirens.
great.
Who would have guessed that mermen are fully scaled and as casual as koi fish? Well, probably a marine biologist.
Look, because none of the environment is interacting with them.
But they might also be the first to say that it's totally a hoax. We wouldn't want to spoil the fun though, so we'll leave it up to your imagination as to whether this is what a true mermaid might look like, or just another viral video aiming for clout. A high seas mermaid adventure. It's hard not to make a big splash on the beach, but it seems there's been a bit of a buzz down in Veracruz, thanks to an unexpected guest. You see, pictures of what
I'm no ordinary girl. Okay.
some have been claiming is a lifeless mermaid started to appear on Mexican social media. But hold on to your seashells, because there's more where that came from. Some naysayers have come out to say it was all just a joke, a nasty prank with a rubber prop. That's no way to treat your fishy fans, is it? The story was told that a couple of beachgoers found it, called the cops, and suddenly an extraction team showed up. Without a fuss and with no questions asked, this elite team whisked the rubbery mermaid away to parts unknown, and that's what the official story seems to be. Some even suggested these people might have a connection to Area 51 across the border in the
You're
US.
literally showing the video of the people sculpting it. What are you talking about? This is people making it right here. These are artists building the prop that you're talking about, my dude.
Yes, but no one wants to push that theory to its inevitable conclusion, although the truth might be even stranger if you want to believe it.
You just showed the artist carving the scales.
Someone else has made the more probable claim that the prop is a leftover from the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie, On Stranger Tides. Looks like it either got lost or was on a quest of its own until it washed ashore to scare some of the locals. So, while it's no real-life mermaid, the mystery of how this movie relic ended up on the beach still lingers, leaving some skeptics demanding a closer look. Picture perfect mermaid. One day, a camera guy happened to be strolling along the beach, minding his own business. Then, boom, he stumbles upon what looks like a knocked-out mermaid. But hold up, things aren't as fishy as they seem. Sure, that mermaidish creature might appear convincing
Can we say Juan Cabana?
at first glance, even with its weird Skeletor complexion and that mannequin-styled stillness. But let's get real. If something kicked the bucket in that position, it'd probably faceplant into the sand, not pose like it's a creepy photo shoot. And here's the twist, it's actually legit. Well, sort of. Everything in that frame is a bona fide deceased something or other, but we can rule out a natural-born mermaid from any of those parts. It's more of an uncanny sculpture crafted by the talented, or should we say twisted, Juan Cabana. This guy creates his art using actual fish, human skeletons, and who knows.
When we did Sea Monsters, whenever we do a Sea Monsters, Juan Cabana comes up because he makes the Fiji mermaids, he makes the little stingray people, he makes the wolf fish, with the baboon teeth, all kinds of cool stuff.
What else? He's like a modern-day Dr. Frankenstein minus the lightning, pitchfork-wielding mobs, and ominous windmills. Is it ethical? Hey, all we can say is that it sells. Someone actually...
if someone donates their remains to him to make art with, I think that's probably all right. If I donate my remains to somebody to make art with, what's wrong with that? That's my will be done.
He paid a cool $10,000 for it. But if you're really interested, maybe Juan Cabana can make a repeat display just for the sake of it. The inner workings of a mermaid. Back in 2016, there were these pretty bizarre pictures making the rounds on social media. They supposedly showed the decaying remains of what people assumed were a mermaid that washed up on a beach in the UK.
Hold on, I think we got better pictures of this because they wanted to blur it out, but it's just I keep closing things I don't mean to. We already looked at that. Is this the one? That's the mermaid body found thing. Yeah, that's the one. Snopes did a report on this. Let me watch that one. Here we go. Okay, so this one. This is a Fiji mermaid. Literally, like the way that they make a Fiji mermaid is a monkey top half and a fish bottom half. And it looks like they've went and added some stuff in here to make it look more organic. They may have caught a real fish and used some of its organs in the sculpture before they took the pictures. But yeah, that's definitely a Fiji mermaid, which is made from combining a monkey and a fish skeleton.
Definitely have the it factor, and by that we mean there are seriously scary snapshots. You've got this human-like creature with a fishy tail just chilling on the sand. The midsection? Well, that looks like it's seen better days, but the head and tail are oddly intact. Paul Jones is the guy behind the camera that let these pictures out into the world, and they went viral.
It's definitely a Fiji mermaid, though. I mean, this is somebody's sculpture. There's actually an oddity show coming to this area in March that I kind of want to go to that should have stuff like Fiji mermaids and stuff. I would love to broadcast live from that. What's it called? Oddities. Let me look. I was talking to Ben and BB about it a couple days ago. So I know I saved it in there, or shared it in there anyway. Give me a minute. We talk a lot in our little group chat, so I'm scrolling back through. There it is. Oddities and Curiosities Expo, El Paso, March 8th, 2025. So maybe you all can fund my visit there, and I will come at you live from on location, as much on location as they'll let me anyway. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? We could do that. Look at Fiji mermaids and whatever else they have in their little oddity collection. Well, let's look at that after we're done here, actually.
Hitting Facebook like a storm. Some people who saw them were dead set, pun intended, on this being an actual mermaid. Others, though, were certain it was fake, or probably just a seal that was torn apart and washed up. And you know what?
No, it's a Fiji mermaid.
The East Coast has its fair share of gray seals, so that's really not too...
Those are not gray seals, sir. Those are not seals at all. Well, I mean, they're fur seals, but they're seals in common name only. They're eared seals, and they are not closely related to gray seals. They're more closely related to sea lions. These are not gray seals.
Unbelievable, considering the circumstances. But it does feel more exciting to think that the mystery is still real enough that the answer could be unknown. Regardless, there's a lot of evidence out there that can go either way, but hopefully this UK creature is less disturbing than the one we're looking at next up from Florida. Fixed up in Florida. All right, hold on to your fins, because we've got some messed up clips coming from the American wetlands. The video mentions it's from Gators Pass on Florida's west central coast, and you might expect it's full of emotional outbursts and some colorful language, to say the least. But the most interesting thing to take away from the whole shoot is that supposedly this mermaid got shipped all the way to Australia for scientific study. Well, while we love to tell you more about the science behind what's going on with the watery discovery, we're sure to say that this tale ends almost the same way as one of our previous ones. As it turns out, this thing is not really a real mermaid. Nope, the mastermind behind this fishy business is the same artist from before, Mr. Juan Cabana. Seems like this guy really is into creating fantastical creatures using the remains of fish and other critters. Sea monsters and mermaids are just his jam. Now, let's get into some more misconceptions. The mermaid's hair looks suspiciously like a wig, all combed and clean. If this thing was floating in the ocean, that's totally not how its hairdo would look. Plus, the body seems oddly well preserved for something that's been swimming with the fishes. You'd expect more decomposition and maybe a fly or two. Oh, yes. And there's a lack of sand on it, even though it's a
I feel definitely called out about the mermaid hair. This is obviously my real hair. I'll not hear anything about it. And yeah, the no flies observation works, but there's other things about this that become more obvious too. Same thing about the other one that was crawling up the beach, is that Juan Cabana's stuff has been treated. It's taxidermies, and you can tell by looking at the surface of skin if it's been taxidermied and treated, even if you lay it on the beach.
Supposedly washed ashore. We'll be honest, it looks like his last work may have been a tad more believable, but we've still got even more worth believing in.
At least it's got boobs, though. That's what everybody comes to mermaid videos for. They're like, I want to see some mermaid boobies.
So let's see what really did happen in Australia next. Fish or friends? Down in the land down under, the wildlife is practically what the country is known for. It's not hard to believe that with all of these animals running around that there wouldn't be a few mermaid mysteries to find. People have been yakking about these mythical beings for ages, and while many have
because people love titties, like a lot. Like, let's not downplay it or underestimate how much our species is enamored of mammary glands. They're like the best kind of glands on the body, right? The human species, like of all, I know that there's actually glands that are more important, like salivatory glands, for instance. You wouldn't be able to eat without those. You'd have to dip your food like a raccoon. But mammary glands are pretty sweet, and they're required for feeding babies. I don't know how that connects to being attractive. I guess being able to feed babies is psychologically important to us. Yeah, nitties. I can't believe Nitty's not here. This has been a titty-full episode. We've had like so many titties and there's been no nitties.
Named mermaid sightings, few have managed to prove their existence. Some say they're bad news, causing shipwrecks and storms. Others think they're guardian angels of the ocean, saving sailors in distress. Now, let's get scientific for a second. Our planet is basically a water world, with 71% of its surface covered in H2O. We humans are 60% water, and some critters are practically water balloons with legs. So theoretically, mermaids,
like most land animals, have about the same ratios. There's a golden ratio of surface dwelling, fully terrestrial water to other material. It's gonna balance out. Of course there are high end and low end, but the water balloon animals are usually things like jellyfish, right? Jellyfish are living water balloons. They don't have legs. They don't have tentacles. Are you calling the tentacles legs?
AIDS could be a thing. Maybe some kind of evolutionary in-between kind of creature. Experts have taken to the sea, or rather, dove under.
I love absinthe. Is that how you make it? So, Sumami just did the Fiji mermaid recipe. 1 ounce, 4 roses, bourbon. 1 ounce, bourbon court. 8 years rum, 1/2 ounce passion fruit syrup, 1/2 ounce grenadine, 1/2 ounce lemon juice, 1 dash Angostura bitters, 10 drops of St. George absinthe. Okay, absinthe. Woo. Gotta get that green fairy in there.
It to see if they can catch some on tape, and this is what they found. Looks pretty real to us. Of course, looks aren't everything, and each clip comes with its own set of critics. The U.S. National Ocean Service poured cold water on our mermaid dreams in 2012, stating there's zero evidence they exist. But some still hold out hope, especially with clips like this. The shot came from a man who said he spotted a mermaid off the coast of Queensland in Australia's Great Barrier Reef.
That is literally someone swimming with a mermaid tail now. Come on. It's a person with one of the tails on.
So, mermaids, real or just the stuff of salty legends? The debate continues with our next clip. The Cebu mermaid. Is this evidence of a mermaid or a sea monster? A lot of the creatures we've seen so far have all been...
This is Juan Cabana.
Called mer creatures of some kind, but it's interesting how few of them look the same. This fellow right here looks to be more fish than folk, but it definitely has that human-looking monster feeling, if you catch our drift. It also sort of looks like what happens if you dried out a fish for a bitter snack later down the line. So, what's it doing over on a grassy floor instead of at the bottom of the ocean? We don't have all those answers. The person
I do. It's Juan Cabana.
who clicked the picture is still trying to figure out what exactly they caught too. Although they're mostly wondering if they've stumbled upon a legit mermaid or just some fish-fangled monster. But one thing's for sure.
So, but why aren't you just like all the rest of them by Juan Cabana? You've been like, oh, this is Juan Cabana actually. But this one, you're like, nah, it's a mystery.
And it's that they've got a seriously strange critter on their hands. Mallorca mermaid with Spanish style. We're traveling the
go.
world for these strange sights, and it's brought us to the ocean coast off of Spain. While mermaids or ocean dwellers like these are often dismissed as mere legends, a fisherman from Mallorca, Spain recently captured a sighting that's making waves, so to speak. In this extraordinary footage, the mermaid reclines on a seaside rock, seemingly
she, though?
sunbathing, her graceful tail gently swaying. It's almost too good to be true, and plenty of others on the internet felt the
Because it's not true.
same. This extraordinary sighting has ignited a whirlwind of speculation
And she's got that same mermaid, the body found tail shape. Look at that. In skin color too.
about the existence of these mystical beings. What would a real-life sea princess look like if not for the
AR, that's beautiful. The one and only. The one and only answer. Oh my gosh, I love it.
enchanting creature we see in the video? Could it be that mermaids are more than just the stuff of folklore and fairy tales? These captivating images leave us all wondering about the secrets the depths of the ocean might still hold, and we're getting close to the end of it. Mermaid with a message. Mermaid
Okay.
Melissa,
This is
often
just
dubbed
somebody
the
in
real-life
costume.
mermaid, has shocked people around the globe with her enchanting underwater appearances, captivating millions of viewers on YouTube and gracing live press and television broadcasts. Beyond her mesmerizing aquatic performances, she carries a powerful message. Let's help save the oceans before all creatures become mythical. Not a bad story
Okay,
for
but she's just a person though. I didn't know this was a job option that I had.
someone who's always swimming. Her remarkable journey as a professional mermaid and ocean advocate
Holy shit! How long have you been able to become a professional mermaid? How long has that been a job? I bet that El Paso doesn't even have any professional mermaids right now. I bet I could be the first professional mermaid of the Upper Rio Grande. What do y'all think?
has been documented in Mermaid Melissa, The True Story, a compelling documentary that delves into her life, her passion for marine conservation, and her mission to raise awareness about the fragile state of our oceans. As a representative of the deep connection between humans and the marine world, Mermaid Melissa serves as a symbol of the enchanting beauty of our oceans and the urgent need to protect them. Through her captivating
I want
performances
fish to swim around me like that, though. I'm gonna move to Miami with Tsunami, and we're gonna be mermaids. We'll be the best mermaids in Miami. I'm down. Let's do it.
and advocacy work, she encourages others to join the cause and take action to preserve the oceans and the incredible creatures that call them home. While she might be more of a person than a sea creature, she's definitely a friend to all fish in our book.
She's a person. I mean, it sounds like she's doing good work, but she's a person nonetheless. This is supposed to be 20 times mermaids have been spotted in real life. This is a cop-out.
Books. Mermaid Melissa, The True Story, offers a glimpse into the life and mission of a modern-day mermaid who seeks to inspire change and ensure that the wonders of the ocean remain a reality rather than a fading dream of myth and legend. A Minnesota mermaid. This next clip takes us
All right.
back to the United States, this time in
And
Minnesota.
we've been here because this clip has been from all over. It's been from Chernobyl and from the Pacific Northwest coast. Been from a few different places, but it's from a movie. They like collect a specimen from the side of the river.
Soda. Here, you can see what seems to be a green tail in the water. An Australian tourist claims to have filmed it, but we don't know the exact spot. Paranormal enthusiasts are all over the scene, telling everyone to keep an open mind about what's going on. They're wondering why everyone would go through the trouble of faking something like this,
It's
and to
from
what
a-
extent. Really, that's
We've
about
seen this like at least 3 times on this channel before with different claims attached to it. Yeah, girl, I known about it for a bit. I'm sorry I fail you as a friend. I saw a doc called Mer People or Merfolk or whatever on Netflix or Prime or something. Yeah, the people really into it say Merfolk. Miami mermaid, Michigan milkmaid. That's where it gets a little weird for me.
Out as good of an argument as we're gonna get. The video ended up on a YouTube channel called Paranormal Elite, and they're saying the creature in the footage looks like those mythical mermaids we've heard about. Mackie thinks it's legit proof of mermaids. He's even heard tales about fishy-tailed humanoids back in Australia, but he was still surprised to see this coming out of a freshwater lake.
I thought Minnesota had Iceman. The Minnesota Iceman, right? That's your all's cryptid? Dude frozen in ice. Monkey man guy. Urgh. Like this. We need to talk about the Minnesota Iceman sometime. Does that sound fun to you guys? Let me run a poll. See if you guys want to do the Minnesota Iceman. So yes and no. There we go. All right, so I started a poll because I'm still trying to figure out what we're gonna do.
Doesn't that break some kind of fish code?
Marathon, not
The
fawn.
big question remains,
Jesus.
do mermaids hang out in Minnesota lakes? Maybe they can when they're out visiting their freshwater cousins. Or maybe they can even walk on land when they decide to put their tails away for a while. So, if you're ever in doubt of mermaids hanging out, maybe consider you're hanging out with them. An arm's reach. Here's the story of some people who had no interest in catching a mermaid. In fact, they were just trying to do their job on the open sea. Until, bam, they pulled up their net and saw an arm. But not just any arm. It was a webbed hand reaching out from the net like it was saying, "Howdy there." Now these fishermen aren't used to this kind of surprise, so they handled it as well as you'd expect. That's to say, they freaked out a bit and let the net slip right back into the ocean. Talk about a missed opportunity. Did these sailors almost catch themselves a real-life mermaid? Not even they know for sure, but here's the thing. Most scientists aren't buying it. They say it's an unlikely find. About as unlikely as finding a unicorn at a petting zoo. But we want to give at least a bit of benefit of the doubt. There's still crazy theories out there. One called the aquatic ape theory, suggesting there might be some human life.
Please remember how racist the roots of the aquatic ape theory are. Just keep that in mind. It's important to remember that, because the aquatic ape theory is just a way for European populations to feel like they're special, I guess, because they think they came from aquatic apes. I don't know why. It's really weird.
Like relatives who evolved to live underwater. Scientists are quick to deny the theory, seeing as how there's no physical or fossilized proof, but then again, there's a lot we still don't know about the ocean's dark mysteries. Remember the giant squid? People used to think it was a myth too, until we actually found
People have been actually finding giant squids washed up on beaches for centuries now, so that's not exactly true. We just weren't clear on what they were, where they lived. We didn't know much about them besides that they washed up every now and then.
Was alive and swimming down in the deep sea. So maybe, just maybe, mermaids are lurking out there as well. After all, history's got its fair share of mermaid sightings, and some of them turned out to be pretty fishy.
I want to be a burlesque mermaid. Yeah, I can do burlesque now. I have boobs now. Yay.
Business. The skeleton solution. If we're getting into the nitty-gritty about whether a mermaid is a real creature, you'd expect there to be at least some bones we could go off of. Would they leave behind people bones or fish bones?
Now this is like a globster that we're looking at here.
A set of photos might be able to answer that question because of what some say looks like a mermaid alien on social media. These strange remains washed ashore in an Australian beach, and it's got everyone baffled. The pictures come from a marine biology Facebook group, and now they're storming the comments online. Bobby Lee Oates, the one who first found this oddity while walking along Keppel Sands Beach in Queensland, described it as having a human-shaped skull with an elongated jawline and some hair that's kind of like a cow or kangaroo. She estimated it to be
like a seal? Might it be a seal?
Around 6 feet long, and said it had a tail or limb of some sort. Animal specialists chimed in, and one of them from Zoological Society of London thought it might be a small cetacean, which is a type of marine mammal.
Which is the type of marine mammal. Cetacean just is the clade that means whales and dolphins. Those are cetaceans. So it could be a small, like, porpoise. That makes sense. The shortness of the head. How am I at holding my breath? Pretty good. I grew up with a pool, so I'm actually, when it comes to swimming and stuff, I'm efficient. I probably get myself back in shape, but I don't know why my audio keeps dropping down like that. It's so annoying.
So, maybe the answer is still out there, but we need more experts to rise to the surface before we figure it out. A Jamaican tale. There's some wild footage from Flatbridge in Jamaica that's making a stir in the seafaring community. It was captured on camera, and at first glance, it looks like someone's just having a relaxing swim in the river. But here's where it gets interesting. If you squint really hard, you might just spot what seems to be a fishtail.
What?
Now hold on to your captain hats,
I
because
don't
this
see
could
it.
be some actual documentation of a real-life mermaid.
In Jamaica?
Right? Well, don't get too excited, because just like our other bits of evidence, as soon as this mysterious mermaid-like creature realizes it's being watched, it darts away faster than you can say.
But, like, we know that people wear these things and swim in them. We know that they wear the mermaid tails. What?
Fish out of water. These elusive fish people sure don't like being exposed. So what's the story behind this fishtail? Nobody knows for sure. It could have been a bona fide mermaid taking a dip in the river, or even just a regular person enjoying a swim. If you're down in Jamaica, take a look for us and let everyone know.
You're going to have to send me down to Jamaica to investigate, dude. Can you find that?
Race of the Mermaids.
I like this
for our
one.
last clip, we'll be looking at
This
a
one's the
flying
best.
drone that flew over the big blue ocean. It's a great view, but suddenly our camera catches something bizarre. We're talking a whole bunch of these weird fish-like creatures cruising through the water, like they've got somewhere important to be. But the people who saw the footage say these fish are kind of freaky. In fact, are they really fish at all?
Not when you look
Or
at
a
them in the
gaggle of
air.
mermaids?
Look at it. That's
The
not
drone
freaky.
pilot was definitely curious and moved in for a closer look to see what was really happening. But guess what? These aquatic mystery beings were like, "Not today, drone." They zipped past the camera faster than you can say CC.
Now, they're trying to make a big deal about the way that splash hits, looking like arms going like that when it hits the water. But if you look at them in the air, they're just fish. They're just fish. See? You can see them right here. They're just fish shaped like fish when they're in the air. There's no limbs, no mermaid tail, nothing like that. It's just a fish.
Fish at all? Or a gaggle of mermaids?
Look, you can see right there. Yes, they're fish. All you have to do is pause.
The drone pilot was definitely curious and moved in for a closer look to see what was really happening.
Fish.
But guess what? These aquatic mystery beings were like, "Not today, drone." They zipped past the camera faster than you can say sea secrets. And just like our last video, nobody's got a clue about what these
I think they're
creatures
too-
really are.
They seem too small to be dolphins to me. I think they're just fish. I'm not sure what kind of fish because it's too blurry. But I also didn't see a dorsal fin when they breached. Which fish lay their dorsal fin down, and but cetaceans obviously they can't. I mean, I could be wrong. They could be dolphins, but they look like
Are they some
fish
new
to me.
species? Secret mermaids? Well, that's the million-dollar question. And right
There's a
now,
boat.
it's got everyone wondering if mermaids are real and whether we'll be able to prove it. Until next time, we'll just need to keep gathering more clips of fish up close to find out.
Just ask the person in the boat what they were. All right. Yeah, so this channel usually doesn't do a lot of this stuff. Usually does stuff like this. Like, yeah, 222 videos on Not My Dad Help Me. But yeah, this is a little bit off topic for him, I guess you'd say. But yeah, it's the missing files. I had another clip of mermaid that's allegedly mermaids that I thought was really funny. This dude out on a boat.
We got another one over here. What are those?
Cetaceans. Those are dolphins. Literally.
What the fuck's going on?
Or maybe some little
On each
tooth
side of
whales.
the boat? What are those trails called? What's something swimming fast underneath that water? Something swimming real fast underneath that water. I hear 'em.
It's
Where's
definitely
he at?
cetaceans.
What the fuck is that noise, bro? What is that noise? Where are you?
Ah! That'd be so cool.
This is crazy. I heard it. I heard it. I hear it.
Definitely whale sounds or dolphin sounds.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
He's trying to say it said jump for me, but it didn't. What else do we got? We already looked at that. I think we're about done here. We debunked that. And that one. Here's that clip of the people. I actually went and watched this just to see what it was all about. Where they, yeah. Yeah, my mermaid makeup wasn't this savage. And then you had, yeah, that one, the mysterious mermaid skeleton in Queensland. But I think that they're probably right about that being a cetacean. And then, yeah, we looked at that one. Fiji mermaid. And then we have Mr. Juan Cabana's website. If you're interested in seeing more of these monstrosities, Juan Cabana has all the creatures you can think of. Look at that. Look at those weirdos. All you gotta do is take it out and lay it on the beach, and boom, you got yourself a mermaid sighting. But he makes a lot of stuff. So, yeah. All right. So, when it comes to Cryptic Corner, when it comes to the videos that we cover here, I don't know. Was that good? Did you like that one, or did we debunk it just too damn easy? Half of them were from Mermaids: The Body Found, which was the documentary or mockumentary. I think it was it History Channel that put that out, or Discovery? One of them that it's a mockumentary. It's not real. And then half of them were Juan Cabana creations, and then a handful of them were not actual, or were known hoaxes or whatever. Like, oh, this is a person in a costume. One was just like, yeah, this is a woman who dresses up as a mermaid. I was a little disappointed in this list. Maybe when we do mermaids again next time, we'll find something better to dive into. But there were some of these that were good. I like the one with the jumping. They were fish. I could tell they were fish, but at least it was something different. It wasn't just like a sculpture or something, or bad CGI. Like, bad CGI mermaids are just a dime a dozen. And that last one I showed that was separate from the video with the guy in the boat freaking out about the dolphins, thinking they're selling him to jump. Anyhow, yeah, so you tell me what you think. Do you believe in mermaids? Do you think that any of these mermaid videos were convincing? Do you think I should leave the mortal world and go live as a mermaid for the rest of my days? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, and also, please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time.